Hi students, welcome back to our video lesson. I believe and I hope that you will be excited with our topic for this session. But before we're going to dig deeper with our discussion, kindly get our learning activity sheets for quarter 3, week number 3. Okay? So, shall we start? Because our video lesson is actually involves to measuring central tendency for ungrouped data. But before that, everybody kindly read with me our objectives for this video lesson. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to illustrate and to find the mean for ungrouped data. Okay? But before we are going to have our discussions, let's have first our priming or our review, because this is a very useful later on with our discussions. Our activity 1, that would be using math apps, which we have actually used when we have still face-to-face. Using your cell phone, you can manipulate these equations or this number. Direction, give the quotient of the given problems. Okay, shall we start? If you have your cell phone there, you can join with me in answering this problem. Okay, so number 1, 1 plus 3 plus 5 divided by 3. Okay, press enter because our answer is 3. Okay, that's right. Okay, let's have another calculation activity or this equation. 10 plus 15 plus 20 plus 25 divided by 4. The answer is, okay, so let's reveal 17.5. So if you'll be able to get the answer, that is very good. Okay. Now how about with our last problem? Calculate 100 plus 120 plus 130 plus 140 plus 150 divided by 5. Okay. So press enter because our answer is actually 128. Okay, that's great. So those are some of our activities that would very relatable later on with our discussions. Okay, so the mean is commonly referred to as the average of all values. To compute the mean, add all the scores and divide the sum by the numbers of the scores. It is the easiest way to compute the average. So yun yung tinatawag natin na average values. Okay, so but before that, let's have this activity. Activity number 2 is identifying the situation. Directions, read and understand the situation below, or you may use your math apps to find the mean. So if you have in your houses right now or where you are, which you watch this video, you can have your math applications to better manipulate our equations. Okay, number 1. The data shows the number of hours or the students who spent during their morning exercises. So we have the data 243,142, 332,121, 321,24, 324. Okay, so that is our actually problem number 1. For our problem number 2, the following data is the daily income of the school canteen of the Spring IS. So we have the daily income for 400, 200, 150, 450, 100, 250, 145, 240, 140, and 310. Now for our problem number 3, the set of data shows the speed of the vehicles reaching Jensen. So we have 20, 25, 45, 60, 45, 50, 70, 45, 20, 43, 29, 53, 45, 69, 43, 39, and 53. Now, we are going to use the math apps to find the mean. Okay? So, if you have there, you can join with me on how to get the mean. Shall we answer? Okay, this is our solution. So, if you have there, you can check with me if our answer is correct. Okay? So, lilipat ko muna yung video ko dito. Okay. The data shows the number of hours students who spent during their morning exercises. So we have the given data. So what you are going to do is to add all those numbers that we have. Okay, so 2 plus 4 hanggang doon sa 2 plus 4, and then divided by the number of variables that we have. So you need to count from 2, 4, how many terms those are involved. So there are actually 20. So if you are going to get the sum of those numerator, you need to divide it by 20. Okay, so the answer will be 2.45. So do we have the same answer? Okay, if that would be the case, that would be great. Now, let's double check this number 2. The following data is the daily income of the school canteen of Spring IS. So we have the given data. So as what I have mentioned a while ago, that we need to add all our data and divide the number of variables. So from 400 going to 310. So add all of those terms and then divide it by 10 because those are the number of variables that we have. So our answer is 238.50. Okay, so that's great if we have the same answer. How about with our problem number 3? The set of data shows the speed of vehicles reaching Jensen. So you need to add all the variables that from 20 to 57, then divided by the number of 15, or the number of variables, which is 15. Because if you are going to count all those 20, 35, 39 to 57, that would be 47.46 or 47 or 47.47 if you're going to round off. Okay, so that would be a very basic on how to get the mean of a certain data. Okay, so I believe you can do it alone in your respective houses because we have everything here. Okay, next is we have our follow-up question. So how do you come up with your solutions? So is that very easy to find the solutions on how to find the mean? Okay, so if that would be your answer, that's great. Or if you have another answer, you can actually comment in the video lessons that we will be having, or you can chat with me, or how you come up with your solution. Okay, next is how did you find the activity? It is interesting, it is easy. Okay, so you can show your answer by commenting in the video lesson, or you can chat through our personal GC. Okay, next we have how do you define mean of ungrouped data, or your own understanding based on our discussions a while ago. So on your own definition, how do you define the mean of ungrouped data? So to hear your voice in your answer, you can actually PM me, or you can send your answer in our personal group chat. Okay, now we have our activity number 3, which is the measuring is the key. So direction is in 1/4 sheet of paper. So you can get your paper there because later on you will have to picture out, or you need to take pictures with your answer, and then you can send it personally in my private message. You are going to determine the average, or the mean average of the grades in Mathematics 7 for the 3rd grading. Grades are such as follows. So you can encode 79, 89, 90, 87, 85, 78, 74, 90, 85, and 84. So those are our data that you need to get the average. Okay, so if you know the answer of this one, you can actually write your activity in a 1/4 sheet of paper. Then later on you can take pictures out of your solutions, and then you can send it privately to my FB account so that I could check if you get the correct answer. So I believe you can do that one because you are allowed to use the math applications which I introduced to you when we still have our face-to-face classes. Okay, so I believe you learned something because at this moment you will have your assignment. At your home, cite 5 examples where mean can be applied. So there are a lot of things in your houses, and you need to cite 5 examples, and you will write that one in also in a 1/4 sheet of paper, and then you can take pictures and send it to our personal GCs, or you can send it directly to my personal or private message. Okay, now let's move on to our application. So what is the applications of our discussion? Mean will also be applied in getting the average of the quizzes of the students, average time in solving math problems, the average of the visitors in spring IS, and even hours in walking the students from their respective houses to school. So, these are some applications of the average mean, but actually there are a lot of applications that actually mean is being involved. Okay, so I hope you could have a fine example of your discussions a while ago. So average is very important in our daily living. It can be used in computing grades, students. So as what I have said a while ago, that even determining the average sales of the vendors per day, it can also be used also in getting the average of the pulse rate and the average of your heartbeat. Okay, so I believe we are done with our discussion. So if you have more questions, don't hesitate to chat with me or to have a private message with me for more discussions or with more updates about our discussion. So thank you so much for listening. See you then, students, in our private GC. Goodbye, everyone.